back with another video here, and today we're going to be going over the Blue Trunks starter deck coming out in the first ever Zenkai set here in September. So make sure you guys like and subscribe. Let me know what you guys think of the deck, as well as what you guys are excited about coming out in the next set. So this leader here on Way of Justice was reprinted mainly because the leader itself wasn't unable to function. That was kind of a problem with the deck. Essentially, there's an effect in here where you can reveal cards from your life, and they gain effects, and that part's fine. But there's a second part of it where you were able to get cards in your deck that would look up. They would basically put cards back into your life face up, and then you would reveal them and do stuff, different effects. But unfortunately, you can't reveal a card that's already been revealed. Huge thing in the real book. So I don't know why Bandai printed it that way. So essentially, we have a new leader, and it works more around Z energy and stuff, so it should be a little bit of a better leader. I think this leader can be very powerful, and the deck itself, the concept is very cool. It's very thematic around Vegito, but we'll have to see if it's able to compete with other decks going into the new format. So during your opponent's turn, if you add a card from your life to your hand and place it in the dropper, you may reveal it and add it to your hand instead. Meaning you can't take burn damage to the drop, or can't take crit damage, essentially. So, card attack, search top 5 for a Saiyan or Earthling, both blue, and damage costs 4 or less, or a unison that costs 2. Add it to your hand, then shuffle. And awaken when the player is at 4 life or less, or a player has 3 or more Z energy. You may restand 1 and draw 1. And on this side, same effect for the first permanent. Card attacks, you draw 1. Second auto, at the end of your turn, switch up to one of your mono blue energy to active mode. And it has this long activate main effect, which costs 2 blue, draw 1. Choose one of your opponent's battle cards, place at the bottom of your owner's deck. Additionally, if you have a mono blue Z battle card with any cost of 5 or more in play, this card gets 10k and double strike. So you have 2 cost removal. You're able to restand an energy every turn. You also can give your leader 10k and double strike. So you kind of have a built-in Champa, which is very cool. For 2 energy, that also draws you a card and bottom deck something on your opponent's board. So a lot of power here, a lot of power. Let's get into the deck itself. So we have our Vegeta and Goku lines up here. First, we'll go over the Super Saiyan Blue Vegeta and Goku. So these cards here affect, essentially with these card effects, is when you reveal these from your life, you can then put them in your energy in rest mode, and if you do, you draw a card, and at the end of the turn, if this card is still in your, after you place a card in energy, if this card is still in your energy at the end of your next turn, you place it in the drop area. So the idea of this deck is you kind of have like this temporary ramp strategy, and then we're going to be able to take those cards out of our energy to then replace them in our life, and then continuously do the same thing, right? So you have Hope of Victory and Blaze of Passion, which have the same exact effect. So these can be utilized for the your Vegito fusions, essentially, with your Union Batoras. And then we have the 2 1-drop Goku and Vegeta. We have the Boundless and for the future. So Goku here, leader is a blue Future Trunks. When this card is played, add 1 card from your energy to your hand, then place the top card of your deck in your energy in rest mode. So essentially what you're able to do is you are able to, once you ramp with this, you then play this. You then add 1 of these to your hand, and you ramp the top card of your deck. So then you just permanently ramped yourself without having to sacrifice 1 of these cards here, right? Now, I do see a little bit of an error here, so we're actually going to fix that real quick. Very small error. I think I added the wrong guy here. I gave the wrong card 4. So we run 4 of the ramp cards. And it's because we want to put these in our life, so we can take them, add them to our energy, and draw an extra card, and then we can play 1 of these 2. Because this also has the same exact effect as the Goku. We can then play these to ramp the top card of our deck, and then take out said Goku or Vegeta to then put it back into our life. So how do we put these cards into our life, right? Well, there's only one specific unison right now in the game that does that, and that is this Supreme Kai of Time unison. The unison's not great, but this deck is not really built around having a super powerful unison. It's not. Your Zenkai battle cards are very powerful. Your boss monsters are very powerful. Your leader is very powerful. This is just sort of a catalyst for your deck. So active main, if your leader is a blue trunk, you may add 1 card from your life to your hand. At the end of the turn, switch up to 1 of your energy to 1 of your mono blue energy to active mode. That's cool. +1, add 1 card from your life to your hand, then choose 1 card in your hand, add it to your life. So that's essentially what you're doing. So you put these, you have these in your hand, you +1, put these in your life, take that damage, ramp it, play one of the 1-drops, add it back to hand, ramp permanently a card, and then +1, put it back in your life. That's essentially what you're doing. Very, very simple concept, right? You have all these cards to do that. That's sort of the engine that you're working off of. Now, let's go into the Vegito stuff. So we have Vegito Soaring Blow and Vegito Infinite Radiance. So this card, if you have 4 more energy, you can play it for free by union fusing cards from your hand, from your board or your energy. So Union Patora works, the Patora effect works with cards on board that have the same name as the cards that are needed. So these need a blue Goku and a blue Vegeta, which all these cards are here, obviously, right? Right? So essentially you can then play them from your energy, or you can play them from your board. So this card comes in, it's a 25k deflect barrier, and then you have Soaring Blow, which is the same thing. This is a 20k no deflector barrier, but this card comes in and bottom decks 2 of your opponent's cards. Same effect though, you can play it using the energy instead of using your cards from your board. And then we have Super Saiyan Blue Vegito Paralyzing Prowess. This is your big boss monster. Deflect, Triple Strike Barrier. You evolve on top of a Vegito under cost 5, which both of these are. 4/4 energy. Then if your leader is a blue feature Trunks, when this card is played or attacks, your opponent chooses 2 cards in their hand, places them at the bottom of their deck in any order. Essentially, you are making them discard 4 cards, and then this card swinging 35k Triple Strike. Now, there's some decks that can deal with barrier stuff very easily. A lot of decks can't, and also being able to just play it to make them lose 2 cards is a very, very powerful effect. So, this is kind of your engine here. We have a Vegito Powers Combined. This is a Union Fusion for 1. Same sort of effect. And when this card you have to play from cards in the field. You cannot play from the energy. When this card is played, you draw 1. This card was played using a Union effect. You draw another card. So it's a 1-drop 20k that draws you 2 cards. Activate main. Choose up to 1 Vegito other than this card in with an energy cost less than or equal to your current energy from your energy area, and play it. If you played a card, add this card to your energy in rest mode. So the idea is that you can play this guy out for 1, draw 2, you have a 20k swing, and then tap 2, and depending on how much energy you have, you can end up playing out one of these guys from your energy. Or even better, depending on if you get to that much energy, you can end up playing this guy out. So that's kind of the idea of this card. It's kind of a weird, just an interesting tech card. We run enough Goku and Vegetas that we can play this guy out. But also it's just an extra 1-drop swing, right? It's a 1-drop that can potentially draw us 2 cards for playing off the Union Patora. So that's the main reason why we have this in there, just because it is an extra swing. We have some other Goku and Vegetas. We have Super Saiyan God Son Goku Miraculous Transformation, Gigantic Negate, Triple Strike Barrier Deflect, and stop your opponent from attacking leader if this card's in rest mode. Then we have Vegeta the Interceptor, very powerful card as well. Bottom decks 2. It's got dual attack. Also can be played in the counter window. Both of these can also be used for fusion material. Not saying that you would, but you can swing twice with this guy, right? Play this guy, Union Fusion with another Goku or whatever. You draw 2. You have another 20k swing. Same thing with this. Go into these. Like, there's a lot of different things you can do with this. Just having other options for Gokus and Vegetas outside of just these little 1-drop guys is very powerful. There are 9k barrier Goku and Vegetas that you have to tap 2 on play to ramp a card. They're okay, but this is just more. This is just a little more consistent here using this stuff, because that way you have to basically tapping 2 on the play to do the effect, right? That's okay, right? Also doesn't have deflect, so if it gets counterplayed, you know, kind of losing the card. Super Saiyan 2 Trunks for a Brighter Future. This card is a 20k unique, cost 2 if your leader's Trunks. I'm sorry, if you have a blue unison in play. If your leader's Trunks, at the end of your opponent's turn, you draw a card. And activate battle, you can give this card 10k and triple strike for the battle. So, it's a pretty cool card. It's a pretty powerful 2-drop. With your leader effect, this ends up becoming a 1 because you're able to restand energy at the end of the turn. But also just counts as the Trunks, and we're able to search it out, so it's also powerful. Same thing with God Sealing. 3 God Sealing is enough. A lot of stuff has deflect nowadays, so mainly this is there for most of the overwhelm stuff your opponent's going to play. Alright, so we have a I almost said Xeno. So we have the Zeno super combo. Very similar to the one drop Goku and Vegito. We can just grab back our rampers off of, you know, out of the energy, so that way we can use them again. Also, if we ramp our secret rare or super combos or anything else like that, we can also just use this to pick up those cards. That way we always have access to them. Since it being D-Magic, pretty standard from most blue decks. Dirty Burst. Going into the next set, it's still going to be very popular. A lot of big cards running around. Having access to Dirty Burst still very, very good. 1 Kale, Boss Monster. We can ramp quite a bit in this deck, and the Boss Monster, our secret rare here, is able to have a really crazy play with this. And we have Bulma, Master Scientist. This is another card that can actually be played off of our, if we reveal it from our life. This card's played, search top 5 for a Goku, Vegeta, or future Trunks. And we can search out this, and all the Gokus and Vegetas. So no energy cost required. So this is very good. So that's why we play these, because they're searchable, and these two as well because they are searchable. So just being able to ramp a card, play it, and then search top 5 and add a card to your hand, it's pretty good. So the secret we are running is the Super Saiyan Blue Kaioken Goku. So why we're running this instead of Hatch is Hatch is becoming more and more of a, now I would say a bad card, but there are definitely, with this card being printed, there are now options for blue to play. Blue hasn't really had any good blue options for unisons. We've had, secret rares. There's been a few secret rares that are off color that you can play, like Pan and Kai, but nothing on color that's really been good outside of Hatch. So what this card does, it is a 40k deflect triple attack for each energy in your, each card in your opponent's energy. Reduce the energy cost of this card in your hand by 3. So there's going to be a turn where you can basically play this out for 2 energy. It's very, very powerful. You can't place cards on top of this card, so you cannot use this in Union Batora, unfortunately. So don't try to use it. Everything else can be used. This cannot. Auto. If your opponent has 4 more energy, when this card is played, switch all of your mono blue energy to active mode. So, like turn 6, turn 7, you can get real crazy. Or actually, I'm just sorry, not even turn 6 or turn 7, but 6 or 7 energy, you can get real crazy. So you can do things like play out Vegito, play this, restand all 6 of your energy, right? And then get another one of these out, right? You can go into into Vegeta's here. You can go into, on turn 7, you can like throw this down for 5. Tap 2, play this, restand all your energy, go into one of these, right? Like there's a lot of things you can do in this deck, and you have the Trunks here, like there's a lot of different things you can do in this deck, and this being able to just restand all of your energy just gives you such a powerful effect that we haven't really seen before, right, in the game. Like having this much energy restoration on one turn can be really big. You're going to see these really big kill turns now for blue decks that's not just relying on, because right now blue is very stagnant, right? Blue basically relying on Kale turns, they're relying on turning the tide turns. With this allows them to be a little more creative with their kill turn. Yes, they still may play Android 17, or they still may play Kale, but now for them at least, they're able to play a Kale, play this, and then play something else, or play this, and then play this, or play this, or play one of the swing Baby Ape or Golden Ape, whatever, play this, restand all your energy, go into a Kale. Like there's different things you can do now. So everything's probably the best secret rare for a lot of blue decks going forward. Hatch is still very good, but I think this is now, it's good enough to be considered as a replacement if you don't want to play Hatch. And then the Z deck, we don't have a ton of Z cards yet, so this is just kind of the best ones you can run. One of the Mai's, if there's 1 or more future Trunks in your Z energy when this card attacks, it gains 10k. Activate if there is one or more future Trunks cards in your Z energy during your opponent's next turn. First time attack with a battle card 5 or less, you negate the attack at the start of the battle's offensive step. So we don't have a ton of Trunkses. We have the 2 Trunkses here, so that's why we just have the 1. It's okay. It's an okay card. Cell's very powerful. This is your board wipe. Also becomes a gigantic triple strike crit for 3 energy. And then we have our big Super Saiyan Blue Vegito Godly Spirit. So this is the guy that allows your leader to gain double strike, deflect, triple strike, barrier, blocker. If your leader has a future Trunks and this card attacks or activates blocker, you may add one card from your life to your hand. If you do, add one card from your life to your hand. So you can add one card from your hand to your life, and then this allows you to get the same effect that your Unison gives you, which is really cool. So that way you can kind of put stuff back. And then at the end of your turn, switch this card to active mode. Choose one of your opponent's battle cards, place it at the bottom of their deck. Then your opponent chooses a card in their hand and places it at the bottom of the deck. So this also has some built-in hand removal as well. So, but this is the Trunks deck. Check it out. See if you guys have any changes you guys like to make. Send me those changes down below. Let me know down below. I'd love to talk about that kind of stuff. But yeah, this is what I have for you guys today. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. Make sure you guys like and subscribe if you did, and I will see you guys in the next video.